Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we're going to be talking about using gerunds. Talking, doing. What's a gerund? A gerund is a noun made from a verb. What is this? Well, we take a verb, for example, an infinitive like to work, and what do? We add the suffix ing, ing, to the end, and now voila, we have a noun. Okay, so we took this idea, a concept, an infinitive, we put the ing in the end, boom, and now we have a name. And this is the important part. When we have a name, it means that we're not talking about a concept anymore, we're talking about something real. And we're going to practice a little bit with this during today's video, which means that we're going to be practicing. All right? So stick with us. Okay, by now we all know that we can use gerunds or ings with the verb to be. I'm working. He's sleeping. But the main reason for this is that when we use a gerund, which is a noun, we can use it with a verb to be. And that's why we say I'm working, okay, for two things. Because we can't use the verb to be with anything but a name. For example, if I say I am work, it means that that's what I am, okay? I am something called work. But when I want to describe what's happening right now, I need to transform the verb into a noun, and that's why I use the ing. I'm working, so this is right now. He's sleeping. We're describing something real, and that, my friends, is the main concept. When we talk about something concrete, about something real, we use gerunds in English, okay? And this is why when we combine two verbs, sometimes after the first verb, we're going to use an ing. Let's take a look at the next following phrases. I started working for this company 5 years ago. What? Take a look at this. We're using a verb, to start, okay? And after to start, we're using to work. But we're not saying I started to work. We're saying I started working. So instead of using an infinitive, we're using a gerund. Because we're talking about something real. Okay? I started working for this company 5 years ago. Same principle applies here. I stopped smoking about a month ago. Because my lungs are gray. No, actually it's because when we use start and stop, we're talking about real things. Hence, after these verbs, if we use another action, we have to use a gerund. Okay? Same thing happens here. I like shopping. The only way to like something is to experience it over and over again. So it stopped being a concept when you started practicing recurrently, and it became something real. That's really nice when you think about it. So that's why many people says, I like shopping. So what do we get from here? People usually shop multiple times. So if you enjoy something, you do it a lot, hence you like things like shopping or eating because they're real, not concepts. And that's going to be the main difference between this idea and the one we saw in the previous video. When we combine ideas and we use infinitives, we're talking about things which aren't real yet. Ideas, projects, concepts. When we use gerunds, on the other hand, we're talking about real things, concrete things, okay? Things happening right now. And we can do this. I started working. I stopped smoking. I like shopping. I enjoy eating sushi. I do enjoy eating sushi a lot. What else can we do with gerunds in English? Well, surprisingly, a gerund can be the subject of a sentence. Think about it. When we transform it into a noun, which is basically a name of something, it's the same as using the pronoun it. So, working here is fun. Think about this. We could say to work. But when we talk about the idea of a job using the word working, we're making it real. And since it's something fun, it's also something concrete. Okay? So in this case, it, working, okay? Working here is fun. Same thing. Learning English is my hobby. Or running is a good workout. So the next time you want to start your phrase or your sentence with an action, try to change it into a gerund to make it something more realistic in a way, because this is one of the things which are very typical in English. We use gerunds a lot more than in Spanish, for example. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Working here is fun. This is the subject. It is fun. Okay. Learning English is my hobby. It is my hobby. Running is a good workout. It is a good workout. What do we know so far? Okay, we can use verbs plus ings, gerunds, nouns as the subject of a sentence. Smoking is bad for you. Eating pizza is nice. Running is a good workout. So we can begin a phrase with an action. We can use a gerund. Okay? After some verbs. Okay? Just like in our previous video, we showed a list of verbs which you use with infinitives. We have a list of verbs that we use with gerunds. Like, I like shopping, I like eating, I don't like waiting in line. Nobody does. Love, I love watching the sunset on the beach. I hate waiting in line. Just what I mentioned when I said I don't like waiting in line. Enjoy, start, and stop. When we start doing something or we stop doing something, okay, we're making it real. So we use a gerund. And this might come as a surprise for some of you, after prepositions. Remember that when we talked about this earlier in our previous video, we said that we can use infinitives after adjectives. Now, when we use prepositions and we want to mention an action after a preposition, we use an ing. So, examples here. She left without saying goodbye. Preposition here is without, and the verb that comes after that is transformed into a noun. Same thing here. After meeting him, John was ready to work there. So pay attention to this detail whenever you want to use a verb after a preposition. With, without, after, before. Wash your hands before eating. Okay, that's what moms always say. Okay, let's recap a little bit about this. Using gerunds is something typical from English. When we talk about real things, about concrete things, we always use a gerund because we're naming something, okay? And when we combine it with other verbs, since we're talking about real things, we show actually the reality of it by using a gerund. For example, eating pizza is something nice. Smoking is bad for you. Running is a good workout. Studying English can improve your odds of getting a better job. So in all those previous phrases, I was using a gerund as the subject of a phrase because I'm talking about real things. Now, after some verbs, okay, for example, like, love, or hate, which are verbs that we use to talk about real things, the only way to like something is to experience it over and over again. Same thing happens with the things we don't like or we just plainly hate. We experience them one time and we don't like them, and then after multiple repetitions we start hating them. Okay? Also, when we start doing something or we stop doing something, we're talking about a real thing, hence we use a gerund after these verbs. And of course, after prepositions. After having dinner, before eating, okay, without thinking. When I use a preposition, after the preposition, I'm going to use a gerund to express my ideas. Okay? Preposition for. When you want to give a motive or a reason, as we stated in our previous video, we use an infinitive. I came here to teach. So we're using to, which is a preposition, but that's the exception. If we want to use a gerund, we use the preposition for. For working, to work. For learning, to learn. So these videos are good for learning English. Okay? So practice that. For, we use it with gerunds. To, we use it with infinitives. And that's all the time we have for today. On behalf of everyone here at Smooth Talkers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.